Welcome to the model of ninth wave. Superior inventions for financial markets using 369 forecasting research and development.
Hello friends, welcome back. Today we are discussing the offset pivot green pinning beam method. It's a mouthful. So let me say again, beam, we have dealt with beams before. If you watch the videos on YouTube, just search 369 Forecast or search the Twitter if you can for the beams. For the initial beam concepts, we also discussed many times these green lines are made fat for a reason, and then we also have these algo points where we think market is going to come and go because we have that experience in that institution space. So alright, so I said beam, I also said offset of the pivot from the green level. So let me show you some more magic. Won't spend too much time. So these green levels and the edges of the blue levels for end of the day will be used to see if we can predict all the swings. That's the whole idea of doing all this, correct? So again, there's always a little bit of experience required in what I'm presenting, because if there was only one single method, it will be too easy and there will not be any market. Alright. So let me take it from anywhere you like. This is the pivot. This is the green line. So when I'm saying I'm drawing a offset based, that means I'm not putting my trend line here. I'm gonna be starting from a place vertically located, and that point in time and price is this green line. This is my starting point of my trend line. Then I said we will be beaming it from the edges of these blue lines. So earlier we showed how to pass the beam through where the price crossed from the highs and lows, previous highs and lows, right? And then we wanted to also use the trend line break and retest on the other side. So we already discussed that. Now this is going to is an offset method where we are creating our own trend lines done uniquely to identify the hidden structures. And you go to the pivot, offset the trend line, pin it on the green level, pass it through this endpoint. Right? If I pass it from this point or this point, so I'll go over beams like these. Okay, so that's what we do here, like this. So market did what it had to do into this, exited, reflected from here. That is what I'm trying to explain on the offset scenario. Alright, let's do next one right here. Pivot. If I move it here, it goes there. If I move it to the next one. So next day, this is this day, right? So I have to use next days. Not, you can use this day also, but it won't do much. It will be going up, shooting up straight, most likely. So I have to start. Market is going this way, this way. Why? If I plot it like this, remember these are price magnets. It will go there, right? So I am starting from the beginning. I'm looking at the edges from this pivot. I'm gonna go to the end. Market went between these edges, and you know this days in advance, so you plan it, and then you see how the order flow algos inside the bar, right? All these reactive tools, but you know where they are going to be reacting, you know, with this advanced methodologies. We beam it again at the beginning and the end. And you're trapping the price if it gets there, and then you start looking at the algos. So I pass in the beginning and the end, and I get the edge. So this is only possible if you have this entire software, because it's impossible for me to be doing this real time. If people have interest in such models, as you can see, we don't use any indicators, and when we do, that is the last stage, because no indicator can predict this, what I'm showing you. Alright, let's go from here. The offset method is here. That means I need to locate the pivot, go vertically down or up from that location. So I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna beam up at the beginning and the end. They're both same. So let's go to the next one. This is the one. Go down here, beam it from beginning and the end. So we beamed it right there. We're gonna beam it again, starting from this offset. Now these points, no one knows except you. So it comes in this. See that it comes there, reflects it. Alright, there we go. And now let's try. What else can we try here? We can try other things too. This is again the beam, so this beam also we can try. Let's beam it. This is all same, almost same. So reflected here, reflected there. Now my point is, these structures you cannot see any other way. And since you are not trained in this art and science, it's virtually impossible to find these things on your own. So now you know. Let's do one last one. We're gonna go from here. We can do it from here as well, right? If I do it from here, maybe to the up here, beginning end is going somewhere. No, it's not going anywhere, right? Okay, that's fine. We just draw it, right? It takes a few seconds. Then I'm gonna go to this guy right here, below this. That's why we have two lines. And then we're going to beam it. Okay. And then this beam can be reflected further right here. Just keep on beaming. Like the beginning, right here, beginning and the end. We just do both of them. And the end. You don't want to go like last month, right? Just right here, active, last week, 10 days, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need to go back unless you go to daily time frames. We don't. This is intraday reflection points. Now from here, I'm gonna beam it again. Now this green also was a lot of lines here. Strong pivot. This was just probably a news day, so we don't know. We'll just do it from here also. Right, so I'm beaming from this green offset and this green offset from the same pivot, and I'm beaming it to the edges of this guy. And if you're doing this to the beginning, it's gonna just go down here vertically, right? So that's why we have to do it. And if I do another one, that is fine, right? So we got two of them. So market just came here and reflected. And now we can again, we have this work, right? Real-time work to be done with, but you can only work on real things, not things which are not real. So that's why now you can see the power of these lines, these levels. I've shown you so many methods, at least 3 methods. Beaming method, I've shown you Holy Grail measurement method, and I'm showing you offset beam method, all coming from the same place, same measurement lines. So we're gonna beam it again from here. So I'm not aware what's gonna happen to the market, right? We just will beam it. So from this day, this is the low right here. So let's do it. And beam it. And beam it. So let's beam it from here. Let's beam it from here. This is very far away, but we will beam it from there. And we'll beam it from there. I hope it makes sense. This is kind of interesting. It came in the beam and just traveled the beam and then finally broke down. This could have been a difficult one. Taken along, came down, blue line, long above, short below. This is where oscillators will help. Where are we going? This oscillator is right in the middle, 44 to This is like not giving any, this was going sideways, right? And this is also not giving us any edge. Not this one anyways. Alright. Not everything every day will be super perfect, but okay. So you got the idea. Let's go to the current date. Now this is how you can keep on going. So you cannot work on 20 things, unfortunately, because I'm professionally trained to do all this. I can look at 100 things. If you ask me 20 different questions, I can bring 20 different tools uh, and models to answer the question, right? As a trader who is not in that level of space, you should always start with 3 or 4 things: where the structure of the price is, reflection points are, and then how to enter without any indicators. That's the essence. Okay, so this one is not going anywhere with that. So we'll go to the top because we just been looking for tops. We're not reaching the tops anymore. Okay, no. Let's go from the top. This day is fine. This is the pivot. Offset from here. We're gonna beam. Beam, if you're being on this in the beginning, it's gonna vertically going down there too much. We'll beam it to the end. This edges, the 2 edges, beam it. So when market is here, you'll always be afraid. You don't know what's going to happen. It's going to hold or fold, hold or fold, right? So if you're trusting this model and these beams, your stop loss is just right here. Stop loss 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But you need to be trained in this. So when we say these are the levels, you go long or short below this level, long below, sorry, above this level. So there's also reflection. Green level is there, beams are also there. So this is a powerful reflection point. Same thing here. Market is above this, coming into this level. Our bias should be in the long side, and it held into this box, went up, and well, this is kind of interesting that it traveled this beam, and finally it broke down and came back to the blue box. Right here above this, go long, but market open, you were sleeping and it came down. Then you have 2 options: go short below this, long below above this. Market is inside the balance box, it's gonna make a move. This probably is a news day, and in the news day, the first spike, we should reverse 70% probability. After the news event, you can go anti-spike, first spike. First spike is a big green one, came into the levels, and you can just put a stop loss above this somewhere here and buy entry right here. Because it's the first impulse, it closed, you should be taking short. And you should not be doing it if you don't know all these professional ways to trade. Alright, so now you can see just together in last 20 minutes we went and picked up again using the same things. a simple trend lines done in a way algos are doing it. In a way professionals are doing it. So these things are not found on books or college or on the internet for a reason. Now you know why. So let's do one last one. Offset from here, beaming from here, beaming from here, that goes nowhere. Next we go for the beam on the next stage, which is right here. This day, next day, edges. Offset. So at the end and the beginning of this day, close. Market went up directly into this level. So this is how I can refine from this blue levels where am I going, up or down. We also talked about Renko 36 for larger turns. You should be aware of those. So there's a lot of work to be done before trading this. You have to track the larger swings, intermediate swings, offset swings, and Renko is there, right? So I'm tracking all this. I have channels going on, mid-term channel, this term channel, long-term channel, so I know my edges, right? So I'm tracking all this. We have discussed all the sub-components, all the parts of the whole. Now you may not be able to do these beams because you don't have this software, but you have the blue lines. And then you can, if you like it, if you are enjoying this, you can, our idea is to go long and short. So it's pretty obvious that if I go from the few days back and pivot and I am going to this few days forward blue lines, the angle slope will be very low, right? I'm going in angular fashion. If I'm going to the next day, I'm going very strictly strong up angles. But if the market is sliding sideways, that means we have to also slow down our angles. Which means, since I've been using this day and next day's blue lines and this day's pivot high and low, I can also, there's no hard rule. You have to be flexible. I can go to the next day, next to next day, edges. The rule is edges. See that? Because market is slanting, slope is low, it's not moving very aggressively, so we can slant it. So if I had to slant further, I could have gone to this guy somewhere here and then beam it. If I do that, it'll be even low angle, right? Now this is where, if you have seen the very first video, predict every pivot, all the rules work one way or the other. There's so many approaches to doing all this. We're just getting started with the whole scenarios. If you are interested in following all this, but you got the idea. So where is the pivot? If I do it from here, there's nothing going on there. There's nothing going on there, but I don't know yet. So I just plot it like this. And because once you're doing real-time trading, you forget all this. So you do your homework up front, and you have a plan. If this, then this. As you guys know about it. So these are some techniques which, if you have seen our 60/70 stock forecast, that's what we do. There are so many kinds of beams, so many kinds of measurements. So we just showed you one kind of measurement. If you have been watching prediction, the stock will go here and do this, will go here. Market maker will come there because those rules come from those algos and those risk models. So that's what it is. Okay, so we find this low and we beamed it here and we got that going. So this one goes to law of line break test on the other side, very strong. So we just draw them just like what I'm doing. Same thing from here, pivot right here, pivot on the top, beam it from the next day, beginning and the end. Go to this day. This is very close to the end, so you can go this day also, no problem. So what is happening here is you're getting a context, you're getting some idea where market is trying to reach and reflect from. Market is getting, because the big banks, this whole thing is based on the value generation, and they always have value. We call it supply demand, we call it value, that this value is the core. In one form or the other, value is consumed. Then obviously when you get here, you can look into professional supply demand software at this point. Inside the bar, or there's a book map, there's so many good retail softwares, right? So market went here, it's coming up. It's not able to reach these blue lines. Now you know why. So that's all I wanted to share. Just give some ideas. I'm pretty sure you have the blue lines. You can also do your own Fibonacci's and some extensions, and I'm pretty sure you have hundreds of support, resistance, pivot based tools. You can obviously consume them, but I'm just giving you the laws. Maybe you have better laws, you can apply this on your pivots from your balance points, and you're getting some different structure you never knew about, and it can add some value to your trading, and why not? Boom. Okay, I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. So we want sometimes when it is going flat, it to break and come back to retest me. There we go. So I hope you can probably come with some ideas like these for your assets, because geometry and shapes and trend lines, they give a mind some level of understanding, because mind works on shapes. So from this guy, this was the only pivot we had. Offset it, beam the line, from here and here. I will be drawing like this and leaving it alone. From here, drawing like this, leaving it alone. From this, beaming it like this, leaving it alone. Right? Passing through this, you're getting the ideas. So it went up to this beam, came down to this beam. Just keep on beaming. What else is there? We have the same pivots. We have this pivot also from here. If I do this from this pivot or this pivot, same place, beam it to the next one. Right here. Right? These two constraint. Just beam it. From here, do it again. To the end of this guy. Beginning and end is trapping it, right? So I'm not drawing both of them, but you got the idea. So this is this gives you context. And you need to know something in advance, right? To make up your mind, what are you going to do, and create some scenarios. All right, thank you very much.